Today we are going to be talking about an Australian man who did the same thing Carly Russell did. Kind of similar. This is only for educational purposes. Please do not be rude in the comments below. So, Australian man who fakes his own kidnapping to meet mistress order to pay police. This will be interesting. I tried to find this case, but it was hard to find. An Australian man who faked his own kidnapping to spend time with his mistress on New Year's Eve has been ordered to pay back the costs of the police operation to find him. Paul Laurer, I'm just going to call you Paul, appeared at Longin Local Court in New South Wales on Tuesday and was told he'd have to pay the state government around $10,000 for 200 hours worth of police work after his partner reported him missing. The 35-year-old transman went to meet his mistress on October 31st, but lied to his partner about meeting with his financial guy. In a moment of desperation, the pair sent his partner a text to buy time, but the message blew up despite the somewhat easy to eligible ransom. Thank you for sending Paul to me. Now, payback is a blank. Bye-bye. We will keep him with us until the morning wine. W-E-N. He gives us his bike. We call it Square, the message said, according to news. Paul's worried partner reported the matter to the police minutes before midnight, prompting officers to investigate. Paul and his mistress were intercepted the next morning at a police roadblock, but even then he maintained he had been taken by a group of unknown Middle Eastern men who later let him go. But 12 days later, he was arrested and charged with making a false accusation to the internet to subject another person to investigation. Paul was also sentenced to 3 years community corrections order, though he was spared jail time for a crime Magos called, according, I have no idea how to pronounce this stuff. Okay. ONG said the couple was motivated by the least compelling reason he had ever crossed. Paul's lawyer, A, issued a statement on his behalf saying that his client was pleased to have avoided a jail sentence. Since the commission of the offense, Mr. Paul has made tremendous rehabilitative progress, and today's outcome is reflective of the court's attempt to promote that ongoing rehabilitation, the statement said. Mr. Paul continued to enjoy the support of his family and partner and wishes to move forward with his life as a productive member of the community. Court orders Australian man consumptive police after faking kidnapping to meet up with his mistress. Paul pretended to be Middle Eastern kidnappers when he texted his girlfriend to tell her he was being held captive overnight. An Australian court is ordering a man who staged his own kidnapping to compensate police for the hassle of investigating the fake crime. Paul, 25, messaged his girlfriend on New Year's Eve 2022 from his own phone, pretending to be a group of Middle Eastern kidnappers. The man from WOLLONGONG, New South Wales, was found by lying in order to spend the night with another woman. Posing as the fictional abductors, Paul reportedly told his girlfriend that he would have held captive until morning, promoting her to call Wake Ecuador District Police to investigate. Paul contacted his father the next day, telling him he was being dropped off by kidnappers back at his car in W. Police pulled over Paul's van the same day, finding only him inside. Paul continued to play along with the false report, leading authorities on a wild goose chase for over 200 hours. Paul busted after security footage showed him with a prostitute on the night in question. Separated footage showed him with his mistress not having after initial contract his father about the kidnapping. Whoops, I didn't mean to say that word out loud. I meant to say not ha ha ha. A lady of the night? I don't know. Still getting used to new rules. You chose to send alarming, frightening messages to your partner so you could get some extra time with another partner. Michael told Paul, according to news, you thought that we would be a great way to do it. Any responsible person would have gone to the public, and that is exactly what happened. The judge continued, you are at a point where you need to make a choice. You either take a step back, look at yourself and your circumstance, and move forward, furthering yourself. Or alternatively, you will move into a situation where imprisonment will be a very realistic option. Paul was sentenced Tuesday to 350 hours of community service and was ordered to pay $16,000 in compensation. Since the commission of the offense, Mr. Paul has made tremendous rehabilitation progress, and today's outcome is reflective of court's attempt to promote that ongoing rehabilitation. Attorney A said in a statement. He added, Mr. Paul continued to enjoy the support of his family and partner and wishes to move forward as a productive member of the community. Australian man who faked own kidnapping order to compensate. Paul from New South Wales came up with a plot in order to spend the New Year's Eve woman with his partner. A court ordered a 35-year-old to pay a lot of money. The misguard was motivated by the last compelling reason he ever heard. His partner then contacted the police in the Lake District, who found Paul in his van in his hometown. Officers put more than 200 hours of police work. Local news paper, the Iera State Star, said Paul had initially claimed he was taken by a group of unknown Middle Eastern men and later let go. He was subsequently arrested in January and charged with making a false accusation with the intent subject another person to investigate, which carries a 7-year prison sentence. Paul avoided jail time was issued a 3-year community corrections order and told to undertake 350 hours of community service as well as the comprehension to police. He also pleaded guilty to 3 unrelated charges of possessing an unauthorized firearm, a prohibited weapon without a permit, and a mission without a license. Michael described Paul's actions. The lawyer said he was pleased to have avoided jail. Let's see if there's any other more information we can find. Like I said, this case was man nearly avoids jail after faking his own kidnapping to hide the fact he cheated on his girlfriend. An Australian man has avoided jail time after he faked his own kidnapping so he could spend New Year's Eve with his mistress. Paul is 36, Paul left his home just before 11:45 p.m. telling his unnamed partner he was going out to meet his financial guy. At an Australian court head, but just a few hours later, Prosecutors said Paul's partner received a text message from his mistress claiming he had been kidnapped. I'm guessing this is Paul in the video. I'm not playing the sound. I guess they blurred his face. Huh, this is what police cars look like in this country. It's interesting. They could put in the back of the trunk? I don't know this car. We go to the sides. So this is kind of interesting. Why isn't he wearing shoes? But just a few hours later, yeah, okay, we already talked about that. The mistress told her, "Thank you for sending Paul to me. Now payback is bye-bye. I'm going to be fair, okay? We will keep him with us until the morning when he gives us his bike. We call it square. No one's touching him. My word, I'll give you. Okay, hon?" Fearing for his safety, Paul's girlfriend contacted the police, who started checking surveillance footage and spoke to witnesses. Meanwhile, Paul decided to reach out to his father the next day, telling him he had been kidnapped the night before. He said his kidnappers were dropping him off at his car nearby. Upon hearing the news, cops carried out what they called a high-risk vehicle stop on Paul's van, believing he was being held hostage inside, according to the Mail. But they only found him inside. Paul claimed the police he was captured by unknown Middle Eastern men. Okay, I think, let's see. That's what he looks like. I think we basically covered everything. Faked his kidnapping. Okay, so I hope we all learned something from this. Please don't go out and do this. This is just a terrible idea. I don't know why people think this is a good idea. We'll be talking about cases of people who fake their kidnapping, fake disease, and then we'll talk about real ones because I'm curious. And we'll talk about some things I've heard on the internet, like some fun little, I don't know if it's drama or just little like gossip or secrets or whatever you want to call it. I'm trying not to be a gossip, but it is fun to talk about other cases than just the ones who are insane. Because people have really been kidnapped and people aren't believed because of people like this, and it drives me crazy. Like, what was her name? I think it was Laura, and it was like, no one believed me. And I think this is one of the reasons why. I hope y'all have a great and wonderful day. Bye for now. Let's learn something from this.